I had the pleasure of speaking with John Cates, the curator of the Chicago New Media exhibit at Gallery 400 at the University of Illinois in Chicago.
The full title is Chicago New Media 1973 to 1992. And what I started to do and to research and look into was the Chicago arts community in the decade of the 1970s. There's a lot that happened in the decades of the 70s, 80s, and then into the 90s. However, at the very beginning of the 1990s is where the internet really becomes popular and accessible to people.
Cates got interested in doing this project after doing extensive research on the late Phil Morton, who is the creator of the video art department and video databank. Morton's surviving partner gave Cates access to all of the art he had ever made because of Cates' understanding of where he was coming from and all of the knowledge he built up of the decade of the 1970s in Chicago.
And that's how I also got to know Dan Sandine, who's over here at the University of Illinois, Chicago, and who created a program over here called the EVL, the Electronic Visualization Lab. So I got to know Dan Sandine that way, talked to Dan Sandine, got to know Jane Veeder, Jamie Fenton, a lot of the artists that are in this exhibition, and I started creating this archive for Phil Morton.
I asked Cates why he chose UIC to house the exhibition, seeing as how he is a professor at the Art Institute.
And this is the really natural home for it because Dan Sandine, Tom DeFonte, they founded this program called the Electronic Visualization Lab, and that was here at the University of Illinois, Chicago. It's not in this building, but it's nearby. It's just across the bridge on the other part of the campus.
One of the biggest things I learned was video games are a big part of Chicago's history.
So we have these video games that come from Chicago, and people don't necessarily know that about Defender or Mortal Kombat, but they can come here and they can play those games, and when they're playing them, they're surrounded by all these artworks also.
One of the bigger themes in the exhibition is one of collaboration and community. Many of the works show what's possible when people come together to create new art.
So there was new academic programs, like I was talking about at the Art Institute, and also here at University of Illinois Chicago. And the people who started these new programs, they were friends and colleagues and collaborators. So a lot of the artwork that you see in the show is collaborative artwork that they made together.
I would like to thank John Cates, Free Spirit Media, and the Terra Foundation for allowing me to speak on the Chicago New Media exhibit at Gallery 400 at UIC.